Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Cyril and this is Louisa. Welcome, Louisa.
Hi! It's been a while since the last time we saw each other.
It's been ages. I think that we saw each other like this April, something like that. So it's like more than half a year we haven't seen each other.
Yes, I'm doing good. You know, this pandemic situation in Chongqing is not positive. I have been trapped at home for a week. But tell you the truth, I pretty enjoy that. Because, I'm a homebody and a slacker. I think I can take the chance to get more sleep.
And gain some weight.
Yeah, true. Yeah, actually, I started reading a novel yesterday. This one I can show you. Dun-dun.
Three bodies.
Yeah, the three-body problem. I know it's popular among readers, but I didn't read it before. I know what it is about, but I think if I can finish reading this during this break, that would be great. So what have you been up to?
I haven't told you that I'm currently in my gap year. Although technically speaking, it's not a gap year, it's half a year. Because in CSU, I learned business English. So if you really study that, you can find it's just business. It's just taught in English. But I think that my focus somehow is something about humanities and liberal arts, which I think language should play the most important role. So I think that I could transfer my major to my real passion and what I've been currently fond of. And besides that, I've been, creating some English videos, as you can see. So it's really encouraging and interesting to create something of your own accord. I mean, to express yourself, especially owing to the technological transformation of our age. I think it's important because I think that people are in a situation where they found it somehow difficult to express themselves. We use wow ideas all the time, or like newbie, but we don't know how to articulate our thoughts, precisely. And that's a problem.
Yes.
If you don't express yourself, you don't know anything about yourself. If you don't know anything about yourself, what makes you think that you can know anything about others, or let's say our surroundings? So that's what I've been up to, I suppose.
That's good for you. I've been keeping eye on you, actually. I saw you did all the videos. I think you're doing something meaningful for your hometown and English learners. Wow, that's awesome.
I think we can just kick off into our topic today. So before we get into that, I want to get a sense of what did you do before you become a librarian?
I remember I told you before I used to be a college teacher. But I realized that teaching is not my thing, so I decided to quit my job. At that time, Chongqing Library was recruiting someone majoring in English translation. So I think I should give it a try. And I never expected that I would be a librarian one day. If someone asked me when I was a child, what would you want to be? Librarian might be the last thing that I came up with. but don't get me wrong, I value them very much and I admire them because I think they are knowledgeable, they can read a lot. And they work a 9-to-5 job, which is awesome. But I just never thought about that. I don't know. But when I got this information, it's a secure and cushy job, and it's really suitable for girls, like somebody told me. So I decided to sign up. Actually, the competition is very fierce. And the process was very complicated. Like I have gone through structural interview, the examinations for interpretation and translation. Wow, And the library only wanted one out of 90 candidates, if my memory serves me well. So I pulled out all the stops to get this job, and finally I succeeded. So I really cherish what I have today. I think we shouldn't regret any decisions made by thinking twice, right? People around me always feel confused about the decision I made because, a translator and a librarian are like apples and oranges. They're totally different. They stand for two totally different kinds of lifestyle. Yeah. So, but I never regret the decisions I made. I think each step, even though it is a baby step in your journey of life, matters a lot. So I feel so released because I never tell somebody about this.
So do you find your job related to what you study in college? I mean, even remotely or very, tightly?
English maybe because I focus on organizing and developing the United Nations documentation and foreign literature. So it entails me to use the language to do these things. So that is the only connection between my major and my job, actually. Yeah.
No, one thing that struck me just now is that if I get you right, I think I'm the first person that you've been talking to telling me that you sometimes feel sad if someone tells you that you're underemployed. Yeah, I'm curious why you don't want to talk to other people about that on a frequent basis. What made you think that you are somehow reserved in that manner?
I don't know. I wish I could ask them, what kind of job do you think I can get? Actually, in this stage of my life, being a librarian is a great thing. It's the best thing happening in my life. Yeah, but I'm sure I will go and get another job maybe one day. Yeah. So I wish ask them. So can you give me some points or advices? Yeah, I know they are underestimate my job. So which makes me sad.
Yeah.
I was upset. Mm-hmm.
Don't feel like that in the future. I think that we can treat everybody in our life as NPC, except yourself.
Yeah.
The life that you're in is just you're owning your life, but nobody else is. So it's like everything that you lose, everything that you experience is just your thing. It's your own business, not everybody else's. As long as you are honest with yourself, I think whatever that happens, if you are true with yourself, will be good. I think you are making the right choice. What is the typical day of yours as a librarian? Could you tell me?
I widely believe that the first thing that we do is to get a cup of coffee or tea, read newspapers or magazines. I have to tell you that's part of truth, actually, because I can't work without coffee or tea. Yeah. But for me, I will do some basic jobs like I will to organize foreign literature, foreign materials, and then I will do some planning, some special events. You know that English corner, right? I will spend time reading some English news, because I think that's very important to me. And also, I will read some magazines about libraries, see the international librarians, their cases, and I can learn from these cases. I believe that these cases may enlighten me. So yeah, that is basically my day. But actually, librarians perform a wide range of works, both in public view and behind the scene. as we know, books are the bedrock of libraries. So are people. Yeah. So the main part of our job is to serve people. Yeah, serve our patrons. Like you have to answer questions. That is the most important thing. People visiting the libraries come to the reference desk with a lot of questions, like where's the book? How can I get it? How should I bind my reader's card with my WeChat? Where's the restroom? Etc. You have to help them solve these problems. And secondly, people, staff like me will design some special events to encourage reading. Take our library, for an example, we hold sessions, competitions, exhibitions. We hold these events like regularly. Some librarians would choose to work behind, like they decide what to buy. Yeah, and catalog. Do you know what catalog is?
An idea. I have no idea at the moment.
Like each book has a code number. Some of my colleagues specialize in repairing old books and like ancient books. Like they are valuable, so they have to repair them. Anyway, our jobs are not as simple as people imagine.
So it's not just daily chores. It actually requires communication, and sometimes the questions raised, I suppose, by some of the citizens will be very demanding, and you need to think about that, and you can give them the answer that they see fit. It's like people have a stereotypical notion about librarians, like you're just placing the books in the right place and give them a reading card, etc. So it's not like that.
I have a question for you. So what do you think of librarians? What do you think they look like?
Maybe an old lady or sitting quietly on the counter and reading some books. And if I found it difficult to find a book that I want to read, I would just approach her and ask, "Hey, and could you please find me this book?" And he will just reluctantly look at me, "What?" And then and tell me. I haven't met some very energetic and young librarians like you, so and you refresh me in that sense, I suppose. So you can tell me from a librarian perspective what you think to be a librarian.
The funny thing is that people think that librarians wear librarian glasses and plain costume. We are not allowed to have hair dyed or get our nails treated. We're not supposed to do this. We're not supposed to do that. Actually, there are not so many no-nos in this aspect. But imagine that if you work with the public, you should dress properly, right? In my opinion, being well-dressed is a way to show your respect. So, yeah, but for me, I like putting on our library costume. These books are so dirty now. They are covered with a layer of dust. Yeah. So, yeah, I have to protect ourselves. I need to wear a mask. When you come to library, I wish you guys can, take it as a quiet and a neutral place to read, chat, or self-study, or just hang out. I mean, if you come to library, you can get something meaningful, I think. So it's worth visiting library. Librarians are important, but they are not that important to be the reasons why you come to library.
Exactly. You just broke the cliche stereotype that people have for librarians. And do you think that there is something that you could have done better as a librarian that you haven't done in the past?
There are many things I could have done better. Like my papers. Oh, I have to. I have to devote myself to writing papers. I'm so lazy. I I told you I'm a slacker. But speaking of serving patrons, I think I should be more patient. I'm not a person with a good temper. I have to control myself.
Yeah, I have a question. I think that there's a real danger to the existence of libraries because people are so prone to use their cell phones, checking their cell phones, ourselves included, and we are more exposed to fragmented information as opposed to real information in books. Do you think that libraries should be adaptive enough to our time? Maybe just forgo the traditional physical library to the e-library, or do you think that still should have a place in our contemporary life?
So, libraries are on the way to construct smart libraries. That means we are trying to combine physical space with cyberspace. Yeah. The events we are planning are serving for improving people's literacy. Yeah, we encourage them to read. We can't solve these problems on our own, and we have to cooperate with school, society, even the families. It's a long process to get everyone excited in reading. So, what do you think when you hold a physical book?
I find it somehow difficult for me to concentrate when I'm reading ebooks. So
Yeah.
I'm very traditional in that manner. So I read physical books like all the time, except for some situations where I find it somehow too expensive to buy some books. It gives me a feeling of tranquility, I think. When you're holding a real book, you have a real interaction with something. And secondly, I think there is something so cool about the traditional way of communication. When you're reading, it's like you're communicating. It's like writing. I mean, what's your last time like writing something to your friends, like handwriting? I think that many people will find they couldn't remember the last time. It's like there's something so cool, so fascinating about this traditional way of communication and passing down something that we all value. From that perspective, I still think that physical libraries, physical books have a powerful hold today.
I get that. Yeah, I totally agree with you because sometimes the book collection of physical books are essential for the progress of our society.
Something that is outdated and anachronistic, it doesn't mean that's not right or it doesn't have a place in our heart, right? Do you have anything in your mind what it will be up to in the future, or you are still not so sure of what you're going to do in the future?
I'm not so sure about what I'm going to do in the future. Maybe being a librarian will be the lifelong job for me, perhaps. But I really want to keep learning. I think that is the key, like the core of your life. You have to keep learning no matter what you do. So what's your career plan?
I couldn't tell you at the moment, but if I have a blueprint of that, I think I can, because I think that there's two ways of interacting with the world. Roughly speaking, there are many ways of that. The first way is you are seeing people. Seeing people means that you become an engineer, you become a mathematician, you become a physicist. They are very interested in things. And I have a suspicion of you. Maybe we are people persons. I think that I'm more interested in people rather than things. I want to have more communication with people.
What you said reminded me of a famous line from Forrest Gump. You know that? Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you are going to get. Someday you will figure out what you want to be and what you are going to do in the future. English and literature. English literature, wow, how awesome, how fantastic it is. Maybe someday you can be a writer.
It's my highest expectation, maybe.
Yeah, or you can be a famous blogger, right? If you keep doing this. I was so flattered when you took my invitation. Yeah, so I was so delighted. Really appreciate that you can, provide me with such an opportunity to talk about my job. Thank you. Thanks for having me, Sarah. I think you are so good.
Thank you very much. So the first thing I would say is that the feeling is mutual and the pleasure is also mine. There is a internal guidance in my heart and in everybody's heart. That's your calling. That's calls upon you to do. And everybody can find their niche, in my estimation, to really manifest their potential to the point that they could manifest, and everybody could benefit from that. Nothing can be better than everyone is trying to unfolding their potential to the utmost in a niche that they see fit.
Okay, hope to see you soon.
Okay.
Bye bye.